Hey everyone, buckle up. Welcome to This Explainer, where we're breaking down the absolute behemoth that is the May 2026 gaming release calendar. Honestly, if you've been paying any attention to the news lately, you know this month is gearing up to be one of the most explosive periods in recent gaming history. We are talking highly anticipated AAA returns, indies that could literally shift the industry, and just a ton of amazing stuff in between. So we've put together a clear, structured guide to help us figure out exactly what's dropping, and more importantly, how to make the absolute smartest purchasing decisions for our wallets. Okay, let's get right into it. First, we'll kick things off with May 2026, the gaming explosion. Then we'll move into the heavy hitters. After that, we're exploring simulation and nostalgia, followed by co-op and indie gems, and then we'll wrap the whole thing up with your ultimate buying guide. Section 1, May 2026, the gaming explosion. I mean, just look at the sheer density of this timeline. It's wild. We kick things off on May 5th with smaller, highly creative titles like Dead as Disco. Then, literally just a week later, we're thrust into deep space horror with Directive 8020 on May 12th. By May 19th, we're drifting through Japan in the massive heavyweight blockbuster Forza Horizon 6. And then we close out the month on May 27th with the highly anticipated AAA espionage of 007 First Light. We're jumping from indie rhythm combat to sprawling AAA open worlds in a matter of weeks. It's just a relentless schedule. Moving right along to Section 2, the heavy hitters. Okay, get a load of this quote. Think Uncharted set pieces meets Hitman's player freedom meets Metal Gear Solid's espionage depth. I mean, IO Interactive has already proven with the Hitman trilogy that they are absolute masters of stealth sandbox gameplay, right? And that idea right there perfectly sums up why 007 First Light has serious Game of the Year potential. This is a 1960s origin story set right at the height of the Cold War, and it charts Bond's journey from a young Royal Navy officer to the world's most iconic secret agent. It looks to perfectly blend that explosive cinematic action we always expect from Bond with the incredibly deep sandbox DNA that IO is so famous for. Now, what's really fascinating here is the depth of the player agency. 007 First Light features this rules of spycraft system. It's basically this sophisticated social engineering mechanic where you can use dialogue, deception, fake identities, and just pure charm to achieve your objectives. You can literally complete entire missions without firing a single shot. But, if things do go loud, you've got all the classic 1960s Cold War tech at your disposal. Everything from the laser watch to the fully weaponized Aston Martin DB5. Add to that a totally original score composed by the legendary Hans Zimmer, and man, you've got a seriously premium package. But let's step back and look at the full picture objectively for a second. On the pros side, you have a totally proven developer executing brilliant player agency wrapped up in a fresh origin story, complete with a cinematic Zimmer score. But on the cons side, well, it comes with a premium $69.99 standard price tag, plus some pretty steep hardware requirements for PC players who want to max out those Glacier 3 engine visuals. And notably, the Nintendo Switch 2 release is delayed until fall 2026. Even with that premium price tag, though, the hype is grounded in undeniable real-world numbers. The game has already secured 2.3 million global pre-orders, and notice how heavily this is driven by the North American market, which makes up about 60% of those figures. So it's undoubtedly a heavyweight, but it definitely isn't the only one. And Miss brilliantly illustrates the scale of our next heavy hitter, Forza Horizon 6. Playground Games is finally taking the Horizon Festival to Japan. Just look at how it stacks up directly against its racing competitors. Forza is boasting an incredible 180 square kilometer map. That's the largest in series history, featuring everything from Tokyo's neon streets in Shibuya out to the Toge roads of Mount Fuji. Compare that to Gran Turismo 8's 120 square kilometers or the Crew Motorfest's 150. Plus, Forza Horizon 6 is bringing full ray tracing during actual gameplay, not just in photo mode, which is huge. Oh, and they're introducing a brand new ranked progression system that leads to an exclusive endgame area called Legend Island. So hardcore competitive racers actually have a real reason to grind this time around. All right, shifting gears a bit. Section 3, Simulation and Nostalgia. So this brings us to a super fascinating industry dynamic. The highly anticipated indie undertaking, Paralives, is finally entering early access, and we can directly compare the models of these two simulation games. Paralives is entering the market at a $29.99 early access price point, and it's bringing this totally unrestricted building system. We're talking curved walls, placing windows literally anywhere, and scaling items without limits. On the flip side of the market, you have EA's long-established The Sims 4. That uses a traditional grid-based placement system and operates on a model featuring well over $1,000 in accumulated DLC. Paralives is really positioning itself to offer its core content entirely in the base game, which presents a vastly different approach to the whole life simulator genre. Moving from simulation over to pure nostalgia, Traveler's Tales is back with LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Now, this isn't just some remaster. It's a brand new semi-open world Gotham. And what's absolutely fantastic here is how they've blended Batman Arkham-style combat mechanics into a family-friendly LEGO universe that's designed perfectly for local co-op. You can seamlessly switch between multiple Bat family members, and each one has distinct playstyles. You've got Nightwing's aerial attacks, Batgirl's tech mastery, you name it. Best of all, it features an adaptive difficulty system that actually scales the challenge based on player skill. It's the absolute perfect drop-in, drop-out experience for parents and kids playing together. Section 4 already. Co-op and indie gems. If you're looking to rally your friends this month, you have some seriously killer options. Supermassive Games is dropping Directive 8020, which is a sci-fi horror game featuring a 5-player online co-op mode. And get this, it includes a brilliant trust mechanic system where you literally have to decide if your crewmates are actually human. It can lead to 18 possible branching endings. If horror isn't quite your thing, Subnautica 2 is bringing highly anticipated 4-player co-op to its underwater exploration. And for the action-oriented squads, Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core delivers a 4-player procedural roguelike mining experience where death is completely permanent. Now, on the indie and cozy front, we have Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. It's this beautiful, hand-drawn 2D platformer that's actually serving as the first major Switch 2 exclusive post-launch. For something totally relaxing, Coffee Talk Tokyo drops at a very accessible $14.99, letting you just chill and serve drinks to yokai in a late-night cafe. And finally, there's Dead Ass Disco. It's a wildly unique 1999 early access game on PC that somehow combines Arkham-style combat with rhythm mechanics, so every hit has to sync with the beat. Honestly, it's exactly as beautifully weird as it sounds. Which leads us to the absolute most important part, Section 5, your ultimate buying guide. Listen, if there is literally one number you take away from this entire explainer, make it this one right here. $16.99, that is the monthly cost of Game Pass Ultimate. Analysts are already estimating that 60 to 70% of Xbox players will access Forza Horizon 6 through this subscription rather than paying that standalone price. If you own an Xbox Series X or S or a PC, this saves you a staggering amount of money compared to dropping $70 on a single game, and you still get day one access to one of the biggest releases of the decade. So to make things really easy, we've structured a budget ladder for you. Step 1 is the limited budget. For about $35, you can grab 2 highly creative indies, Coffee Talk Tokyo and Dead as Disco. Step 2 is the medium budget. For roughly $70, you get some incredible variety. You could pick up the life simulation of Paralives in early access, plus the gripping sci-fi horror of Directive 8020. Finally, Step 3 is the high-budget tier. If you have over $100 to spend, you're perfectly positioned to grab a premium AAA title like the cinematic 007 First Light, while also subscribing to Game Pass to cover Forza Horizon 6. So, what does this all mean for you? May 2026 is just a monumental month. No matter what kind of gamer you are, there is a deep, high-quality experience waiting for you out there. But now, I really want to hear from you. Take a look at that wild release calendar again. Which game is getting your money this May? Are you jumping into the 1960s espionage of James Bond? Building unrestricted houses in Paralives? Or is Game Pass going to be the ultimate savior for your wallet as you drift through the streets of Tokyo? Let me know your buying strategy in the comments. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I will see you in the next one.